Hello, beautiful souls. Okay, let me make sure that. Sorry, just giving a couple of minutes before, a couple of seconds, because I'm going to get started really fast and hopefully this will be a rather quick conversation to go over the Refresco de Cabeza, the head refreshment in 21 divisions. There has been a couple of people that asked me for this, and I've been meaning to do it, and I'm just gonna honor. I don't know why it always looks a little. Give me 1 second, guys. See if that's better. Not sure why I'm having so many issues with my camera, and I think I need a new computer. Anyways, hello, beautiful souls. Let's get started with the hair refreshment. Some people call it refresco, obviously in Spanish, refresco de cabeza in 21 divisions, hair refreshment in 21 division. Similar to what people will consider a hair rogation in Santeria. So sometimes people know this as a development bath. So to align the higher self, our crown, to be able to communicate easily and more gently and more fluidly with the mysteries, the luaces, we do the refreshment in order for us to tap into that divine wisdom and allow energy to flow fluidly through us. So in 21 division, this is almost basically like an alignment so that we can align ourselves and also align the spiritual team, the luaces, in this case, the misterios, to have more clear, better understanding, communication of what is happening, how we're communicating, how they're coming, how are we mounting them, or even our dreams. If it's vista clara, clear eye, how do you call that in English? Clear eye development. So it's like you will see the refresco de cabeza, the head refreshment, mostly done as part of an initiation process, depending on your lineage, house, to determine that the lineage in the house, whatever you belong to, will determine whoever you're going to do the refresco will, with the consultation of the lua, will determine what needs to be done. And every bath is going to be different. I don't think anybody will be using, anyone that really knows how to do this is going to be using the same thing for everybody, because it depends on the mysterios, it depends on the mysteries, these very powerful, highly ascended energies that have chosen the Papa and Mama, Mambo, Papa Bokon, high priest, priestess, basically, to work via them to help communities, people, right? Humanity. So when the person gets ready, the priest, priestess get ready to do the refresco, they have to ask for what needs to be done for this person, because we all are different people. We all are different. We all have our life mission, this life path that we come here to do specific things, and so and so and so on. So the first thing that needs to happen is that they are going to confirm that you do have this calling, that you are basically, it's almost like you're accepting this calling. You are accepting the phone call that says, hey, you came here to do this, are you ready? And by going through this refreshment, this head regression, I think that will be similar to what we can translate it, head refreshment, head rogation. Then we say, okay, I want to go through this because I know that I potentially, you might be mounting horses, you might be a horse of the mystery, you might be mounting spirits, you might be the mysterios, you might be having a lot of things that are very chaotic because you're going through development and you need this refreshment to align things. So the head refreshment is an initiation process. Sometimes it can be done without you having to initiate anything. Sometimes it's done to align you so that you can think clearly, because in this process things can get very chaotic. And when things get very chaotic, it's hard to understand why we're here, why is this happening to us. So you will see that sometimes, depending on the people that you go to, the priestess, you might be assigned, you might be given refreshment simply so that you can think clearly. And in the process of development, we go through a lot of picking up a lot of energies from people as an empath, from things that you have no idea. And sometimes we need to release all of that so that we can think clearly before we go through initiation. So don't think that if you do a refresco you already initiated. It doesn't work like that. Depending on your lineage, the person that you go to, the priestess, and that person's lineage, then that's going to make a difference about what they decide to do and how they decide to do it, because from region to region is different, from house to house is different. This is an oral tradition, so there is no one rule that says it has to be one way. So I'll keep that in mind, because a lot of people might get tripped thinking, oh, I got my refresco, I'm initiated. The initiation is just the house, the priestess letting you know, okay, we have consulted with the mysteries. The mysteries have agreed that you have this welcome, that we are welcoming you, but you have to decide if you go through it. So if you don't want to go through it and you still need a purification shower, a hair rogation, hair refreshment, it might be done for a different purpose, like gaining clarity so that you can think clearly. Like I say, when you're going through development, it's very chaotic. It's very chaotic, and sometimes you have no idea what you want because everything is so out of line, out of balance, that you just don't know what you want to do with your life. I Trust me, I know exactly what I'm saying because I've been through it. So the head refreshment to calm down energy or align energy, to stabilize energy. Sometimes it's known as a refresco, sometimes it's known as desplazamiento, development bath as well, depending on what is going on and how it's going to be done, right? So my point is, when you think of the refresco de cabeza, you got to think about what is it that you want, because sometimes if you all you want is to think clearly, you don't have to go through a whole ceremony. You can do a bath at home and get the job done so that you can think clearly about, is this the right path for you? Because the 21 division is not for everyone. People think this is like easy and power and this and that, and they have no idea of the many, 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 many sacrifices that have to be done in order for us to be this person that we said that we were going to be, this priestess. And the sacrifices sometimes are so many, because you have to spend time studying, meditating, taking a paying attention to your altar, taking care of your altar, helping people that are never going to give you thanks. So it becomes a very hard journey sometimes. Okay, and when it becomes harsh like that, because you might not have the support, you might not have a community that welcomes you. Most of the people that are listening to this in English are not going to be in Dominican Republic or Puerto Rico, or in one of the countries where it's more community based. Here everybody's on their own and save yourself. So a lot of the people that come into 21 divisions from the USA feel very lonely. It can be very traumatic experience when you start mounting energies, misterios. I say energy so you can understand me, but I'm talking about the misterio. I'm not talking about just a regular spirit guy. I'm talking about a force of nature. The mysterious are a force of nature that truly, I mean, you can think of the mysteries of source and how much power there is in each one of those mysterios. So when I call it energy, I don't want you to think less of the mysterios because I am using a word that you can understand me, those that are not initiated. Okay. So I'm going to be reading the comments later, but I don't want to get distracted because if I get distracted, then I lose my train of thought. And I'm weird like that. So please bear with me and I'll get to the comments in time. So again, we can do the refresco, the refreshments for different purposes. It could be to remove entities, that energy, fluid, residue from your immediate light body. And I'll explain why in a little bit. It could be to gain clarity. It could be to align and stabilize so that we can be able to receive the mysterios, the mysteries in a more, yeah, I think I will use the same word that I love to use, in a more um, gentle, but also wiser and more, a lot of, it's not that it can become so chaotic that when you get to the moment that you can actually communicate like you're having a conversation with another human, it becomes so sacred. And I mean, I don't even have the right words right now to describe it, because you go from feeling like, ooh, to like, I'm here, I'm more present, even though I'm not present because I'm operating from a different dimension within this reality. So that you know that you're not really here, but you feel more stable, more grounded, in order for you physical body to support that immense source of power that is coming through in the mysteries that are communicating with you, so that everything becomes more gracefully. Okay, so that we're not everywhere. So there are different purposes for the different hair refreshments and the different stages when you do the refreshments. Sometimes there is time that needs to like, one refreshment has to go after another one for very specific purposes, depending on what the mysterios communicate to your priest and priestess that are doing these refreshments. Sometimes it's a major ceremony, sometimes it's something simple that it only requires 3 or 4 people. Sometimes it's more of an initiation that it requires a lot of more things to be happening at the same time, so that it becomes more, I don't want to say sacred, because just because you have more people, it doesn't mean that it's more sacred, but it becomes more intentional. I don't think I have the right word, but more where you actually are going through a contract, an agreement that you make with the mysterios, saying that you're ready for this, which is different than you having a refreshment just because you want to gain clarity or remove things, or um, how can I say this, to understand better if you wanted to go on this path. So there's different refreshments depending on what you need, the priest and priestess, their lineage, and also the region and how they operate, because everybody's going to be a little different. For the most part, you're not going to see that there is one rule that has to be one specific way and that's it, because it just doesn't work like that. We don't have those type of rules like in Santeria, where it's more strict. We are more open. There is a lot of diversity in how things are done. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Please let me know in the comments if it's making sense, so I can grasp how much I'm going through, just to make sure that we're on the same page. So again, if it is in alignment, I have refreshment to gain alignment in 21 divisions, to get alignment with your spiritual team, with the luaces, with the mysterios, right? To have better communication and understanding, to gain stability. Now, if it is an initiation process, then you know you're going full you are setting your calling and you are making an agreement, right? It is an agreement, right? So it's different. So sometimes people call it a head refreshment, a desplazamiento. Like there are two ways that people use this that I have seen in Dominican Republic, where people use this as desplazamiento to calm down the energy so that things can be more stabilized, and sometimes is to push away. Like they think, okay, I cannot handle this, I cannot do this, so please do something and make it go away. And people go through those different scenarios. I know people that have the calling and they cannot answer the calling because they don't feel that they're ready for the calling, because it's a big sacrifice. It's no, you don't get to live a regular life like most people think, for the most part. um it's no, it can never be the same because once you go through some things and you understand things to interdimensional things, and you communicate with these energies and you're getting mysteries and revelations, life is no longer the same. And some people want a regular life, so some people will do certain rituals to put something on hold, to put the mysteries on hold, to know the mysteries, to put themselves on hold so that they can know, communicate, and receive that. So it's different than at the plazamiento, a head refreshment that is to balance and stabilize. But you will see sometimes people use it one for another without truly understanding that there is is two different things. And I don't want to confuse you about that, because I'm sure if you're doing this and you're here, it's because you want to know how to proceed with it. So I'm going to assume that you don't want to get rid of this blessing, because it truly is a blessing. So Refresco, the hair refreshment for initiation is for those that already have chosen to work with the mysteries. They understand that this is going to be a very serious journey, and that a lot of sacrifices will be made, a lot of tests and training will happen, and that this is serious. This is not a joke. And I don't know how else to explain that, because I want you to understand that, and the reason why I don't really talk a lot about 21 division is because I don't think, I think there is a lot of information out there about 21 divisions. And some of the people that have been doing this for many, many, many years, twice as long as me, will give you great information, and you can find those people on YouTube. So I don't really normally focus on providing too much information about 21 division unless it's a different perspective that I have on something that I think I need to address, because I have received confirmation from my spirit team, my mysterios, to give my point of view. So I hope that makes sense. So what I mean is, there are people like Bembecito, there are people like Doris, yeah, I think that's, yeah, I think that's her name on YouTube, Doris Santo. She's an elder in the culture. Who else? Ruben Rical. He has an amazing channel where he gives a lot of information. Um, oh my goodness, who else? Papa Hector, Sansita Luis. Even though he's no, I don't think he's 21 division. He's more Sanse, but he has a lot of knowledge and wisdom that he passes on. So I don't want to repeat the same thing that all these people are saying, because they do have amazing content. Normally, when I do a video, is to address something from a different point of view, because I have been instructed to do so, and maybe one person out there needs that information to see it from another point of view. And why I'm saying this is because, just like we all have different point of view, the very much so on the person, the priest and priestess that is handling your refreshment, how they do things, how long do they take to prepare, are they a good human being? That's very important. Do you believe what they're saying? Do you agree with most of what they're saying? It doesn't have to be everything, but a good amount of what they're saying, you have to be in resonance with. Because if you're not in resonance, you're going to let someone that is out of your energy field, that is not at the same frequency, touch your head. And that's very complicated. I think I talked about how complicated this can be. So you definitely want to do your job to make sure that you pick someone that you trust and respect, so that you don't go into energy entanglement, which can happen here. Okay, so this is a very hard path. We mostly, these people that are priests and priestesses are operating in mostly in the spiritual plane of existence, but also in the physical plane. And to do both takes a lot of sacrifice and energy. A lot of the time, our families get very confused and worried for us because they see things that, the sacrifices, we care a lot of, a lot for our clients, but that, normally you don't see the same results in terms of monetary compensation or regular life compensation, where you have balance with your regular life. So you go through a lot of sacrifices, but not always receiving. And you're okay with that. You might be okay with that, but your family might not be okay with that. Some other people might always have a different opinion. So it is a very hard path. And I want to make that clear, because I think a lot of people want to go through 21 divisions because it's different for them. It might be something where they're more, a little more free to do some things, but it is hard to maintain this practice, because it's an everyday practice where every day we have to communicate with our mysterious. We have to do work, do prayers, do things, do ceremonies, there's things that we have to do year by year, every day, every week, every month, every year. And it doesn't come easy. And especially if you start mounting and you start developing, and you lose control, you might be dizzy a lot of the time, you might be just in a big mess until things really start, until your development takes a huge step forward. You might be in this chaos and having a lot of doubts and fears, and being potentially attacked by negative entities. And you can name it, anything negative, anything that can be very harsh, you can go through in this path, depending on your level of consciousness and how quickly or no you decide what is the path for you. And there is so much confusion, because before, if you're in one country, okay, this is it, that's it. That's why a lot of Dominicans and Puerto Ricans and Cubans know from early age what spiritual practice they want to practice. But when you're in the US, where you have access to a lot of different things, you might get very confused, because we have so much information coming from different people, different things that we see. And then we also have information coming in dreams, which makes it even more confusing. So we go through a lot of confusion. So it's not easy. It truly isn't something to take lightly. And I'm making sure that you understand that I am expressing that, because you can easily go and talk to one of the people that I mentioned here, find them on their channel, email them and tell them that you're ready to proceed. And a lot of those people are very serious people, which is why I like their work, right? Because if we're not in the same frequency, I'm not going to be promoting them. But what I'm saying is, once you go through it, a lot of them will not agree to do immediate work for you unless they have confirmation and they see that you're serious about this, because this is a very serious journey. And if you agree to do something and you don't, there are consequences, including energetic consequences. And a lot of people don't understand this. So they think, oh, the person doesn't want to baptize me because I emailed them and I didn't hear back. And what they don't understand is that, first of all, they have to check you out, and you got to go through consultations and things like that, so that they know if this is really the right path for you. But after they get the consultation, they also, the mysterio might say, okay, I'm going, yes, they're okay to come into the practice, they're welcome. But then they have to decide if they are the right energy for you and you're the right energy for them, because this is a God relationship where you become very intimate with this person in order for you to learn from this priestess, and your consequence also has consequences for the godparent. Okay, so it's truly is a very intimate energetic relationship as well as physical relationship, because you're going to have a lot of communication with these people in order for you to learn from them, because the godparent is there to become a mentor. So, key elements before you let anyone touch your head is to make sure that there is a similar frequency where you can see yourself reaching the same frequency. You might not be there yet because you're in development, but if you are someone that, I don't know, let's say you like to curse a lot, you might not want to be the person contacting Doris and Todd because she might not appreciate that. So then, you see what I'm saying? Like you have to be very observant. Can you trust and respect this priestess to become a go-parent? And that is a very serious commitment, not only for this life, but there are multiple consequences in the higher planes of a system. A lot of people consider the head refreshment a very sacred, and it is very sacred, right? But if you don't see it as that and you just think, I just need a refresco so that I can talk to the misterio, and it's like a show, and then you're not going to get the same quality of what you should be getting from this. Okay, so let's see. They I want to give you this example because I think it's important. The hair refreshments that was done for me was a full body refreshment, full body. I have seen some people that only do the head, and I think that can be a little tricky because the hair refreshment should definitely consider this area here, the back of the neck chakra. We talked about the back of the neck chakra and why it's so important. So I'm not going to go into that here to make this video as short as possible. But my point is, you want to ask those type of things because then you can also see what and ask for an explanation, because maybe those people that are just doing the head, where they only worry about the head, and they're not really paying attention to this energy center, ask them why. If you ask and they said we only cover this and you don't have to take a full bath or whatever, then you want to ask that question so that you are satisfied with the answer. For me, it was a full body thing, but it can be different depending on your house and your lineage. So I'm not saying that it has to include the back of the neck, but I am telling you from my personal experience why the back of the neck is so important, because the back of the neck is where a lot of entities will come in and cause a lot of troubles. And we talked about this. There is a full video, so I'm not going to go into that, but depending on your lineage, you will see that some people will do the full, some people will do from the neck up and do the prayers while you're doing your thing, and some people will, it becomes a full ritual, and obviously you don't do the full in front of the priest, especially if it's a male priest or something like that. So there are different things that happen depending on how it is being done. Okay, but even if it is just in the head, I will highly recommend you I will always recommend for the person to ask for this area to be included in order for you to get the most benefit out of the entire refreshment. Of course, when the misterio comes and is doing their thing, the misterio is going to know what to do. You don't have to ask a human to do it because the misterio is taking care of you. But if you don't feel the energy of the misterio, or they didn't call the misterio for whatever reason, then you make sure that this area is covered, is all I'm saying. Okay, what else? Choosing, obviously, I think we just talked about choosing your godparents very carefully, because if your refreshment is for initiation, that means that person becomes your godparent. If it is just a refreshment, a punto or something like that, and there is no commitment or anything like that, and there are no letting you know clearly that they're, by doing this, they become your godparent, then it is what it is. It's just a bath, right? And if you're sick, you can go to, we used to call them santero. I don't know anymore if a lot of people are calling the curanderos, the 21 division priestess and priest santero, because that's what, when I was a child, I was taken to a lot of them because I had issues with a bone infection and they couldn't find the cure and they didn't know why I had a bone infection. So I saw a lot of santeros. I'm not talking about Cuban santeros. I'm talking about 21 division priests and priestesses. And they will do bath on us, on me, to do things and help with the situation. And I went through this for many years until I was pretty, like, I was old, from 3 years until past 10 years. So trust me when I say you don't have to go initiating anything to have a refreshment, because when you go see a curandero, santero, 21 division priest, priestess, they might ask you to bring some herbs and things, and they prepare what they prepare, and then you take a full shower with that, a full bath, and that is also called a refresco. Okay, so they're different. What I'm trying to tell you is that there are different levels of the refreshments that you can experience, that you can have for different purposes. Okay, now if it is a baptism refreshment where you go through a baptism, where you're actually getting baptized to become a priest, priestess. So first you go to the head refreshment as an initiation, like you're taking this seriously, you're going to go through development. And then when you go through a period of development, it could be years, then you go through the baptism. It's not like one day you get the refreshment and then 3 days later you go get the baptism refreshment. It doesn't work like that. There is, within the baptism, there will be some type of refreshment, sometimes multiple refreshments. And again, that depends on the house, the godparents' lineage and how they operate in that house. Sometimes they will do different puntos, points, different things that are done in the rivers, in the mountains, in the beach, in this and that. So it's not just one day or 1 week or 1 month. There has to be time between the refreshment and the baptism, so that you have time to integrate and learn and develop your abilities, so that when you get to the baptism, you are now a priest, priestess, a mambo, papa boko, mama mambo. Okay, sometimes the baptism could be 3 days, could be 7 days. Some people could be 21 days, depending on the house. It is similar to like in Lukumi, in Santeria, when you see people like they get the crowning ceremonies like that. But I don't think, I haven't heard anyone call it that. Of course, who am I to say? I don't know the whole country. And as we evolve, the culture evolves, as you can see, right? So it is very important for you to pick a godparent that has a very clear heart space, because also through your development you're going to have so many ups and downs, and you're going to have communication, a lot of communication with your godparents when you have those difficult questions. Of course, please don't go to your godparents for every dream that you have and every vision that you have and every little question that you can meditate and ask answers for yourself, get answer for yourselves. But there are questions that are important, that you need to have with your godparents, that they have to be able to answer and help you, so that you can go through your development more fluidly, because otherwise your development could take years and years. When it could take a year, now it could take 3 years, because you don't have direct communication often properly enough with your godparent. Now, a lot of people say, okay, let's say I cannot go to a head refreshment because I don't know if I want to initiate. I don't know if I want to work with a priest and priestess. Maybe they're going to pressure me to. I don't think no priest and priestess are going to, if they're good priest and priestess, they're not going to pressure you to initiate because they understand the responsibility. But if you end up in the wrong hands and those people need money, they're going to pressure you to do things like you need to take the time to reflect and get the right answers and make sure that you're picking wisely. Does that make sense? Let me just go through some questions, some of the comments before I continue. And but before I forget, I want to make sure that you know that okay, this is so sacred that before your refreshments, there are things that you can and cannot do. One of those things that a lot of the houses, the priests and priestesses are going to ask you is no sexual intercourse. There will be a dieta, a diet that they give you to purify your body so that you're easily to work with your auric field, so that your body can feel the fluids and receive and all of that. And the ceremony is a sacred place, so everybody should be in doing the same things for this ceremony, right? So if I'm going to do something for someone, I cannot also be having, as a priestess, be having sex, be having sexual intercourse, be eating certain type of foods, be fighting, be angry, be jealous. And the energy has to be at the right frequency in order for this space to be sacred, protected, and able to receive the right energies to do what it needs to be done for you on that day. I just wanted to mention that before I forget. So, okay, the comments. Let's see. How often do you have to serve your luat after you get your refresco de cabeza? How different it is from your mano? Oh boy. Well, that's a big question because it's such a big commitment, and depending on the misterios that you work with, this can be a situation where most priests and priestesses are going to be doing this every day. This is no one day a week type of thing. Every day we have to meditate, contemplate, reflect, do certain prayers. Your um, your priest and priestess are going to let you know what type of prayers, in what way, how often, for how long. And if you don't have the discipline to do it, you push your development. Also, there will be things that your mysterios will be asking you to do that if you don't follow them, you might basically indicate that you're not ready for this. And therefore, you might feel like, I'm not really feeling the fluids from my mysterios lately. What's going on? Because you might not be doing what they're asking you to do and that you know that you need to do, but you're postponing it because you're lazy. This takes a lot of, even cleaning your altar is a process and it takes time, and not always we want to do it. So, perfect example, at the beginning, I just didn't want to do it. I just didn't want to do it. So I was like, I don't know if this is the right thing for me. And I had to push myself to do it because I said, I made a promise and I am doing this. And trust me, it doesn't matter what it is, how busy my day is, I have to take the time because otherwise I know that I am not fulfilling my promise. It's just, you cannot make the promise and then let it go. You have to take this very seriously. For some people, it is so much to take care of one altar or one spirit, one mysterio. And let me tell you something, the high priest and priestess have to work with a lot of different mysterios, a lot of different mysteries. It's not just one. If you have issues maintaining one, you should not initiate, because if you initiate and you start this, more entities are going to come, especially if you have the gift of truly receiving a lot of different energies. And if you become a priestess, it's because you can do that, receive a lot of different mysterios to work with you in order for them to come through you and heal. It's not you, you're not the healer. You just a best that is doing the right thing so that those energies can come and help humanity through you. Okay, so but in order to keep this vessel and expand the level of consciousness, we have to do contemplation, a lot of meditation, prayers. And when I talk about prayers, it might be prayers that you create yourself. I'm not talking about traditional prayers. I have a big thing against some of those prayers myself. So, creating your own prayers for things, communication. Prayer is a sacred communication with the energy, with the mysterios, so that you can receive wisdom and guidance from them. But it requires a lot of sacrifice in terms of your personal time, your energy, making sure that you do what you have to do in order for you to understand how to work with these energies, how they want, they're going to tell you how they want you to serve them, which might be different than somebody else, might be completely different than somebody else. But you, if you don't pay attention, you're not going to know that. They're going to reveal that to you in dreams. So you have to become a very good dreamer. And I will not believe any high priest that doesn't know how to truly go through the dreams and pick up the information that they receive in the dreams, because most of the mysterios are going to communicate with us through the dream state to give us information that normally in the daytime may be not possible, because you might have to go into a trance, or you might have to spend a long hour or 2 hours in prayer contemplation. And most of the time you're going to see that a lot of information, a lot of the teaching come in the dream state. Okay, so you have to become a really good dreamer in terms of that. And that takes time, because you have to get up in the middle of the night and write notes, otherwise you forget in the morning. And you got to train your brain and your mind and your physical body to wake up, write the note, go back to sleep, pick up more. So you become a student in the dream time. It's a lot of energy in terms, compared to the mano. I don't think I can. It's not the same. My, and I might be completely wrong about this, but the energy that is spent when we deal with 21 division is, I don't know, 100 times more than the mano. Because once you get your mano, you might only do one thing one on Sundays when you're cleaning your bikinis and stuff like that. Or if you're paying attention and really doing the work to continue your journey through, um, getting sand, making santo and all of that, getting crown santo and all of that, you might be putting more time, but it might not be required of you. It is not required when it's comparing 21 division. It is required, otherwise you don't go through the development in order for you to get to the next level of, becoming a high priestess. Hello, hello, Star Rat Galactic Healers. I love that. I have heard once you get the Refresco de Cabeza, your clairvoyancy more pronounced. And can you also still live a relatively normal life once you get a Refresco de Cabeza? Let me address the first question. It gets more pronounced because, okay, what happens with the auric field? And I talked about this when we talked about the pendulum. We all have the different bodies, the different light bodies that compose this physical body, that surround the physical body. This has electromagnetic waves and information. And when we do a spiritual bath, we clean. That's why when you're taking aura photo and aura imaging photo, you see the colors can be cloudy. And when the colors are cloudy, it's because your aura is letting you know everything is not perfect. Something is wrong and it needs to be addressed. And then the aura is going to show you, the photo is going to show you which centers need to be worked on, or maybe working too much or not enough. And that gives information to us to let us know, okay, I need to work on this or that. If you meditate, you can get the same answers, right? But this auric film that is composed of 7 layers, some people say 10, the different light bodies and stuff like that, you will see that this is energy waves, right? And when we do a spiritual bath, and these baths are made out of natural ingredients, plants, right? Flowers, herbs, fruits, leaves, essential oils, and stuff like that. And with prayers, sacred prayers. Because of this, and we also call in the luases that work with us, it is a major activation that happens, and it cleans and balances and stabilizes everything within us so that we have a clear channel. That's why it's so, wow, powerful. It's beautiful. It truly is beautiful. So I hope that answered that question. But even when you do a regular bath for yourself, this is what you're doing, except that if you don't have the power to call on the mysterios, all you're doing, which is still extremely powerful, is that you call on your higher self and the spirit team that works with you to help you activate those ingredients so that you can receive the most benefit out of it. And it can be extremely, extremely powerful. I don't take that away from, I don't say that one is better than the other, because I seen both and how powerful they can be. Okay. I worked, anyway, I'm not going to get into that, but I seen both and how powerful both can be. So, but when we call on the energy of the misterios, when I had my head rogation in IFA with my padrino, my goodness, it was like a refresco de cabeza for 21 division. It was like, whoa, I feel it, like I was in the clouds. I was like, wow. And he doesn't work with those specific misterios, but again, these are powerful energies that represent the cosmic order of source. So equivalent, right? With different names is what I'm saying. But I also seen other people that they do regular spiritual bath and they don't have the power to work with the mysterios or the orishas, and their bath have been pretty potent is what I'm saying. So if you create your own bath at home, you can ask your spirit team to help you activate that with sacred prayers, chant, sound, in order for you to activate those ingredients to get the most out of it. Okay. And no, the question about can you still have a normal life? Well, you said relatively, so I think I will say okay, relatively, but it's not the same because the level of sacrifices that we have to make is, I will say, it's like three times as much as a regular person, because we know things, we understand things, we can see things a lot of people cannot see or understand, and therefore we have a major, our expectations from our spirit, from the mysterios, are right here, where somebody else that doesn't know or is not even into this or anything like this, the expectation from their spirit team might be here. I What I'm saying is, it's a big, big, big commitment. It is not something that anyone should take lightly. And there is a lot, your mysterio will let you know what is required of you. For some people have been sometimes no partner, no romantic partner for a period of time, so that they can purify themselves and stuff like that. And that can be very hard for some people. Sometimes their partner, the mysterious, will take the partners away because they see that they're not the right person for them, and they will do what needs to be done in order for the person to walk the path. And that means sometimes taking away someone that doesn't belong, because the frequency might be affected. So you really have to know that this is the right place for you. What else? Yeah, in regards to the protection, when you clean that auric field, there is a lot of things that are happening at the same time, and your spirit team is recognizing you, and you have a clear channel. So there are a lot of benefits there, but there are other things that your godparents can do to help you with that. So you were told by your caballo de misterio, a horse of the mystery, that you have five loases. That okay. So with the refreshment, that's what I'm saying. Your whoever you go to will need to ask the mysterios what needs to be done, because for some people might be one, for some people might be different amount of refresco that might need to be done depending on each person's situation. It's no one size fits all. Okay. No, I cannot speak about the prices. Some people are very, very reasonable, and some people are not so reasonable. So that's all I'm gonna say. So the price depends, especially also where you go. Like if you're in Dominican Republic and you go to Dominican Republic, you're gonna find people that charge you a very little amount, and some people will charge you thousands of dollars for one refresco de cabeza. Okay, it's all over the place, and it depends on the person, the priestess, and how they're doing things. If you have someone that says they're going to do a refresco, and they are putting things that are basically chemicals, you should be running away from that situation, because the refresco de cabeza should be something where a lot of natural ingredients are used, because that's where the power of the earth is, in the herbs, in the roots, in the spices, in things that have substance. So if you have someone that is using a lot of chemicals, you need to run away. But also, let me just say, to see the other side of that coin, sometimes the refrescos that are used, like the soda, like you see sometimes people, somebody sent me a picture and they had like three different type of coconut soda, the red soda, the purple soda, and it's like, okay, well, maybe they were just adding that as chromotherapy, because each color represents the luam, and yes, that can be done. But if that's all that is there, that's a problem because that's not doing anything. And I laugh because I think it's funny, like, how can people truly believe that these chemicals are going to activate and heal and align your light bodies? So basically, that's what we're doing. It's not something out there that is being done. It's actually here for this physical body. We are aligning our auric and pranic and light bodies and physical bodies so that we can receive the energy, the mysterios, without so much pain and discomfort and um on clarity, like fogginess, right? So everything becomes more like a, you know, lucid instead of foggy and confusing. Okay. But if you see a lot of people using, like, I had someone from Dominican Republic email me, and we ended up testing, and we have a phone call, and the person is like, yeah, my padrino is going to buy, and everything that he was buying, it was from the supermarket. Like, the supermarket, so Coca-Cola, um but there was purple soda, red soda, there was something green, and it was a mess. It was, I was just like, I don't understand. So I sent that person to a very popular mambo in Dominican Republic, and hopefully they took care of that. Anyways, let's see, let me move this so I can read the comments better. I found who is doing bad energy on my relationship. Oya has my ori. How do I work with Oya to stop enemy? I have been praying. She showed me. If you have a godfather that is who initiated you with in Lukumi or Ifa, you can ask them. There is a very good book. What is the name of that book? Do I have it around here? Let's see. There is I what is the name of the book? Is something about bath in Santeria. I think the writer, the author is Carlos, um, Carlos Montenegro, I think, or something like that. And it doesn't give you like explanation of how this works or anything like that, but it gives you different baths for different orishas and for what purpose. And there is different baths that you can do to remove these energies, specifically with the herbs that Orisha Oya uses. So you can do that. But if you're looking for something just to remove the negative energy, um, regardless if it's with Oya, with Orisha Oya or anything like that, and it's a regular generic cleanser to purify the auric field, there is I have, I don't know how many different baths in the Awakening the Healer video program that you can check out, and it's a very reasonable price. So, but if you can get that book, I just don't remember the name of the book, but it's very good. I have it somewhere. I just don't have it here. So, um, okay, my spirits told me that that you knew that. What are you talking about, Anaya? I think I lost the sequence of the messages. What do you mean? That, oh, yeah, you're talking about then using only chemicals to make the bath? So she says, to my knowledge from research, Anaya says, to my knowledge from research, dreams deep knowing the spirits accept toxic ingredients during times of hardships and ignorance of our ancestors, but that's not the right way. There are some chemicals that we use for some of the baths, like ammonia or, uh, alcohol as well, and things like that that we use, but they have their purpose. They have their, but that's not the main ingredient. That's not the only ingredient. There's more ingredients in there, and we can chat on the side if you want to, um, because I want to make sure that I understand that, what's always been preferred. Yeah, the natural resources for sure. There is a reason why we use ammonia and other creolina and other ingredients like that. So anyways, I think I'm gonna leave it here. If you guys want to check out the video on the pendulum, there is information there about how the auric field and all of that, that you guys can check out. Also, I want to remind you that if you have a bitter bath, you have a bitter bath one day or 2 3 days, remember that you also have to balance that out with a sweet bath. And this is important because sometimes people only do a bitter bath to remove, but then they don't do one to bring sweetness and prosperity and good energy into their auric field. So you have to balance that out. Just remember that. Um, I also want to remind you that if you're going to go do a refresco, refreshment, please make sure that you go with someone that has a good heart, because if they become jealous of your power, jealous of your potential power, that can create a lot of complications when they're doing the bath, because when they're doing the bath, they're supposed to be doing prayers and things like that. And now, if they're receiving information about how powerful you're going to be and they get jealous, that affects the energy that is going to be infused into the bath. Okay. Oh, and I want to, no, I cannot go yet because I have to make sure that I give you this. I have to make sure that you understand that, okay, if you're not sure if you have mysterios that work with you, go and do a bath. You could do it for 3 or 7 or 9 times, depending on you. Just don't, if you do it only once, you might not see the results. So you have to do it at least 3 times, 5 times, 7 or 9 times, so you can see the results. Pick one day. I will say, I like to do Thursdays or Fridays. Fridays will be best to do this bath at nighttime before you go to sleep, when you have no worries, you're meditating, you're contemplating, and you are going to do this bath to ask the mysterios, your spirit team, to reveal to you if you have mysterious mysteries that work with you, that have chosen to work with you and welcome you into the mysteries. To do this bath, I have this bath in the video, in the Awakening the Healer video program, where it's only like $19 and you have the full course. You can go into that video and get that specific bath to truly align everything so that you can receive information. But if you cannot pay for that course, that's fine. Do a regular 3 different flowers: rose color, pink, right? Pink, yellow, and white. And you're gonna do 3 flowers, three, no chemicals, no, it has to be 3 different colors of flowers. It could be purple, it could be white, it could be yellow. Pick 3 colors that call your heart, and you're gonna use those 3 different herbs, flowers, in your bath. And there are more things that you can add, but let's say you just so simple, you don't even know if you want to do all of that, and you just want to do the flowers. That's it. Flowers with a little bit of Florida water, and water, of course, right? And you're going to take the flowers, the petal, then massage the petals and talk to the petals and ask your spirit team to guide you through the process of activating those flowers, those roses. And remember, roses have a very high frequency. They are high frequency. We resonate at about 72 hertz. The flowers are over 300 hertz. So there's such high frequency that when you activate them, it's like boom. And now you have this bath that you can do. Let's say if you're too lazy, you shouldn't be doing this if you're too lazy, because 21 division is not for the lazy people. But let's say you want to know and you're not sure, you could do it for 3 Fridays. And when you do it for 3 Fridays, you're going to start receiving a lot of information in your dreams. You're going to be asking, please show me my dreams. Who, if I am welcome, if there's any mysterious that walk with me. And you're going to be doing this before you go to sleep, when you're not going to talk to nobody, you're meditating, you're going to be listening to good music like sound bath or something like that. And you listen and you meditate and you ask, and then in the morning you got to wake up and you got to pay attention to what you had a dream with. And if you don't see anyone the first time or the second time, don't be confused. By the third time you should see if yes or no. And that's why some people will do it 5, 7, 9 times, because this is so much, this is powerful. To do the 3 different flowers are going to, I will say pick pink, yellow, white, definitely white. You might want to do purple, white, and yellow or something like that. But don't pick chemicals, the flowers that have chemicals, because otherwise that's going to not do anything. You have to have natural flowers. You're going to massage it, and while you're massaging, you're praying and you're talking to it and you're asking for your spirit team to please allow you to receive the information that you need in order for you to know if you are truly, if there is any mysterious that are truly walking with you. Now, let's say you do it the first 3 times and nothing is happening. The next one that you might want to do, it might have to be just all white flowers with, you know, cascarilla or fun, how do you call eggshell? What do you call that in English? I don't know. Or fun or cascarilla. White flowers or fun, water. You can get the what do you call this? The 21 divisions bath. You can add some more of these things in your bath depending on what you feel inspired to, but definitely all white for St. Clair, so that St. Clair can give you clarity to see in your dreams if anybody's coming, because sometimes you might not be trained to pay attention to your dreams, so no matter what they're trying to tell you, you don't get it. So you have to figure out at what stage you are. For some people, it might be a different division that might come to let you know. Some people say, maybe Papa Lake Band needs to be the first one. Well, not always, because so for some people is St. Clair or the natives or another energy that is going to come and give you what you need to understand whether it is yes or no. Sometimes you might having energy doesn't mean, it means that they're part of your spirit team, but it doesn't mean that you're ready to work with them and become a priestess, for different reasons. It all depends on your life mission. Okay, so training yourself to sleep properly and dream properly is very important. Okay, so true sweet bath is important. She's right, because your bath, it happened to me too. She's right. Be careful who you do your bath. Oh, so I'm not sure if something happened, Teresa, but I hope everything is okay, my dear. It's crazy. We have to be careful and we have to use common sense. We do have to use common sense. A lot of people don't understand. Okay, I'm going to put all these chemicals on my head that is supposed to align me. And first of all, if you have a lot of chemicals, you shouldn't be putting it on your head. This is very dangerous. If you have Carolina, which is a very powerful chemical, you should not put that on your head unless you are using that with a very well trained priestess, because you could do a lot of damage. You can start bleeding. So I don't know why I find that funny, but you have to be careful. There are things that you shouldn't put on your head, and they just like someone that touches you on this area here or this area here can create energy entanglement. Imagine now you allowing them to call who knows who to give you a refreshment, and you don't know who's coming through because you really don't know the person, and you just are going based on I don't know what. Sometimes I had this, and she she's crazy. She came to me, she allowed someone to touch her, to do some type of refreshment that was supposed to invoke the energies to welcome her. And it was very shady how everything happened, but she was sure he was the real deal. And he ended up doing some type of dark magic on her, and it created so many. She's divorced now, she left her partner. It became a major nightmare, and she couldn't get rid of this person no matter how much she tries, because he did something to keep her. And eventually she comes to me and like, well, she was so far gone and had an obsessor spirit already within her because of everything that happened with this person. So very serious situations can happen here. So please don't allow anyone to touch your head just for no reason. It's very serious, and it create a lot of entanglement. I think I've talked about that before, so I'm not going to give you another speech on that. But yeah, so I think I'm going to leave it here, guys. Please remember to like, and having issues with YouTube. Sometimes YouTube doesn't even share the videos, and I think it's because I'm not asking people to like and subscribe to the channel, because somebody said I haven't been receiving the notifications at all, and I'm like, wow, that's interesting. And somebody then says something else the same week, so I know that no, YouTube is not always sending, especially when it comes to mediumship videos. I don't know why I don't know what's going on with YouTube in that. So please definitely support me by liking and subscribing to the channel, because that's how it helps me to know, if it makes any sense, and if this is valuable content that you appreciate. Because if it's no, then why waste my time, right? So thank you so much, guys. I'll see you guys on the next time. Ciao.